What lurks in asteroid field? Sigma 7, the Vorthok reconnaissance fleet, drifted silently through the void, their sleek vessels barely visible against the star-speckled darkness. Commander Zexai studied the holographic display before him, mandibles clicking in mild irritation. Intelligence reports had indicated significant mineral extraction activity in this remote sector, but what he saw defied all expectations. 3 human vessels operated among the scattered asteroids, each no larger than a Vorthok courier ship. They moved with deliberate slowness, their hulls scarred and utilitarian. Zexai's 4 eyes narrowed as he observed their primitive design. Rectangular cargo holds, exposed engine pods, and what appeared to be massive drilling equipment mounted on rotating arms. These humans looked more like maintenance workers than miners. Commander Dr. Kelvin approached, his research staff trailing behind. Our preliminary scans are complete. The human operation appears to be extracting standard iron and nickel deposits. Nothing that would warrant our attention. Zexai was about to order the fleet to move on when something caught his attention. The largest human vessel, designated Earthbreaker according to their intercepted communications, had positioned itself against a particularly massive asteroid. What happened next made the Vorthok commander lean forward in disbelief. The drilling apparatus extended from the ship's hull, revealing not 1 but 6 massive boring heads, each spinning in complex counter-rotational patterns. When they touched the asteroid's surface, the rock didn't chip or crack as expected. Instead, it seemed to dissolve, transformed into a stream of fine particles that flowed into collection tubes like liquid. "Impossible," whispered Dr. Kelvin, his scientific instruments practically vibrating with excitement. "Commander, you need to see these readings." The data streams flowing across their screens told an incredible story. The human drilling system wasn't just breaking rock, it was somehow separating molecular bonds at the quantum level. The asteroids were being converted into component elements in real time with unprecedented efficiency. Sarah Chen wiped sweat from her forehead as she monitored the Earthbreaker's systems. 20 years of deep space mining had taught her to read asteroid compositions like others read books, and this field was proving to be the discovery of a lifetime. Hidden within the ordinary iron and rock were veins of quantum crystals, a material so rare that most galactic civilizations considered it mythical. "Captain Torres," she spoke into her unit, "you're going to want to see this. We're not just hitting the motherlode here, we're rewriting the geology textbooks." On the mining station orbiting nearby, Captain Torres studied the incoming data with growing amazement. The quantum crystals weren't just rare, they were the foundation of faster-than-light communication and advanced energy storage. A handful of these crystals could power a city for decades. Back on the Vorthok flagship, the scientific team was in heated discussion. Dr. Kelvin's excitement was palpable as he explained their observations to Commander Zexai. "Sir, what we're witnessing shouldn't be possible. Our own mining technology requires massive industrial installations, armies of workers, and months of preparation to extract even basic materials from asteroids. These humans are accomplishing in hours what takes us months." The commander watched as the Earthbreaker completed its work on the first asteroid. But instead of moving to the next rock, the human vessel did something that defied all logic. It released a small device into the hollow shell of the mined asteroid. Moments later, the entire remaining structure collapsed inward, compressed by some kind of localized gravity field until it formed a dense core no larger than a shuttle. "They're not just mining," Zexai realized. They're terraforming space itself. The compressed asteroid core was quickly collected and transported to the human station, where automated systems began processing it further. The Vorthok sensors detected advanced metallurgy taking place, but the techniques being used were unlike anything in there. Databases. Dr. Kelvin's team worked frantically to understand what they were seeing. The humans weren't using traditional smelting methods. Instead, they employed some kind of molecular assembly process that could reorganize materials at the atomic level. Raw asteroid debris was being transformed into complex alloys and components with precision that surpassed even Vorthok manufacturing capabilities. Commander, Dr. Kelvin's voice carried a mixture of awe and concern. We need to reconsider our assessment of human technology. What we're observing isn't primitive at all. It's revolutionary. The Earthbreaker moved to its second target, a massive asteroid rich in the quantum crystals. Sarah Chen adjusted her drilling parameters, knowing that extracting these materials required extreme precision. Too much force would shatter the crystal matrix. Too little would leave valuable deposits unreachable. She engaged the quantum resonance drill, a piece of equipment that her engineering team had developed through years of trial and error. The drill heads began to vibrate at frequencies that matched the quantum crystal's molecular structure, allowing for extraction without damage. On the Vorthok ships, alarm bells began ringing. Their sensors detected energy readings that shouldn't exist outside of military-grade weapons systems. The humans weren't just mining quantum crystals. They were using them to power their extraction equipment, creating a feedback loop that amplified their capabilities exponentially. "Sir," the tactical officer reported, "the human vessel is generating power signatures equivalent to our battle cruisers, but according to our scans, they have no weapon systems." Commander HFY studied the tactical display with growing unease. If humans could harness quantum crystal energy for mining operations, what else might they be capable of? The implications were staggering. The Earthbreaker completed its second extraction, and the results were even more impressive than the first. The quantum crystals were being processed in real time, integrated into the ship's own systems to enhance performance. Each successful mining operation made the human vessel more powerful. Dr. Kelvin approached the commander with his final analysis. "Sir, we've been monitoring their communications. The humans refer to this as bootstrap mining. They use each successful extraction to improve their capabilities for the next one. It's an exponential growth system." The implications were clear. If humans could perfect this technique, they would have access to resources that other galactic civilizations could only dream of. The balance of power in this sector of space was about to shift dramatically. "What's our recommended course of action?" HFY asked. Dr. Kelvin hesitated. "From a scientific perspective, we should establish contact and propose a research partnership. Their technology could advance our civilization by centuries. But from a strategic standpoint, ... double quotes, he paused, looking at the tactical displays. "Sir, if hostile forces discover what the humans are doing here, this sector will become a battleground." As if summoned by the scientist's words, new contacts appeared on the long-range sensors. A fleet of Krillian war vessels was approaching the asteroid field, their aggressive intent clear from their formation and heading. Commander HFY faced a decision that would determine the fate of not just the human miners, but potentially the entire galactic region. The humans had demonstrated capabilities that bordered on miraculous, but they appeared to be defenseless civilian miners facing one of the most ruthless military forces in known space. "Maintain our position," he ordered, "but prepare for anything." Something tells me we're about to witness something unprecedented. The Earthbreaker continued its work, oblivious to the approaching danger. Sarah Chen was focused entirely on her next target, the largest asteroid in the field, which contained quantum crystal deposits beyond her wildest dreams. She had no idea that her simple mining operation was about to become the catalyst for a complete transformation of galactic civilization. As the Krillian fleet drew closer, the stage was set for a confrontation that would redefine everyone's understanding of human capabilities and ingenuity. The day mining equipment rewrote galactic warfare. The Krillian war fleet emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of angry hornets, their dark hulls bristling with weapons. Admiral Vextar stood on the bridge of his flagship, studying the human mining operation with predatory satisfaction. Intelligence reports had indicated valuable mining activities in this sector, and he intended to claim whatever resources these primitive humans had discovered. Pathetic, he growled, observing the small human vessels through his tactical display. 3 mining ships and a supply station. This will be over before it begins. The Krillian fleet was impressive by any standard. 12 heavy cruisers, each, capable of reducing a planet's surface to molten glass. Against 3 unarmed mining vessels, it seemed like overwhelming force. Admiral Vextar had conquered dozens of systems using similar tactics, and he expected this encounter to follow the same pattern. On the mining station, alarms began sounding as Captain Torres detected the incoming fleet. "Sarah, we've got company. Krillian warships, at least a dozen of them. You need to evacuate immediately." Sarah Chen looked up from her console, where she was monitoring the final extraction sequence on the largest asteroid. The quantum crystal deposits were more extensive than anything in recorded history. "Negative, Captain. I'm not leaving this behind. We're talking about enough quantum crystals to revolutionize human technology." "Sarah, those are Krillian warships. They don't negotiate. They don't take prisoners. Get out of there now." But Sarah had already made her decision. 20 years of mining in the outer systems had taught her that sometimes you had to fight for what was rightfully yours. She activated the Earthbreaker's enhanced communication system, powered by the quantum crystals they'd already processed. "This is Mining Operator Sarah Chen of the Terran Deep Space Mining Consortium. You are entering a legally claimed mining zone. State your intentions." Admiral Vextar's laughter echoed through his bridge. "Humans, they never learn." He opened a response channel. "This is Admiral Vextar of the Krillian Imperial Fleet. You have 30 standard minutes to evacuate this system. Any vessels remaining after that time will be destroyed." The Vorthok reconnaissance fleet, still hidden in the asteroid field's shadow, watched the exchange with growing tension. Commander Zexhai knew the humans stood no chance against Krillian firepower, but something about Sarah Chun's calm response troubled him. "Sir," Dr. Kelvin reported, "the human mining vessel is not powering down. In fact, it's increasing energy output." On the Earthbreaker, Sarah was making final preparations. The quantum crystals they'd extracted weren't just valuable. They were the key to technologies that most civilizations couldn't even imagine. She activated systems that her engineering team had been developing in secret, modifications that transformed their mining equipment into something entirely different. "Computer, initiate Protocol 7, she commanded. "The ship's artificial." Intelligence responded immediately. Protocol 7 initiated. Mining systems reconfiguring for defensive operations. Warning: this configuration has never been tested under combat conditions. The Earthbreaker began to transform. The massive drilling arms reconfigured themselves, the quantum-powered boring heads taking on new positions. The gravity compression systems that they used for asteroid processing were redirected to defensive applications. Most importantly, the quantum crystal power cores were fully integrated into all ship systems. Admiral Vexstar watched with mild interest as the human vessel seemed to be rearranging itself. "Primitive engineering," he commented. "They're probably trying to hide their mining equipment to protect it." No matter, open fire. The Krillian flagship unleashed a barrage of plasma cannons, enough firepower to vaporize a small moon. The energy beams streaked across space toward the Earthbreaker, and everyone watching expected to see the human vessel disintegrate. Instead, something impossible happened. The Earthbreaker's reconfigured drilling systems activated, creating a localized gravity field that bent space itself around the ship. The plasma beams curved away harmlessly, their energy dissipated into the quantum field generated by the ship's modified mining equipment. "What just happened?" Admiral Vexstar demanded. His tactical officer struggled to make sense of the readings. "Sir, the human vessel appears to have generated some kind of defensive field. Our weapons had no effect." On the Vorthok ships, Dr. Kelvin was frantically analyzing the sensor data. "Commander, they've weaponized their mining technology. The gravity compression systems are being used to create defensive barriers. The quantum crystals are providing power levels that shouldn't be possible for a vessel that size." The Earthbreaker began moving toward the Krillian fleet, not away from it. Sarah Chen's voice came over the communication channels, calm and determined. "Admiral Vexstar, you have 30 seconds to withdraw from this system. 30 seconds. The Admiral's rage was evident. "Destroy that ship. All vessels, concentrated fire." The entire Krillian fleet opened fire simultaneously. Hundreds of energy beams converged on the small human mining vessel, creating a light show visible from several star systems away. When the energy discharge cleared, the Earthbreaker was not only intact but appeared to be absorbing the attacks. "Impossible," Admiral Vexstar whispered. Sarah had discovered something that would revolutionize space combat. The quantum crystals didn't just store energy, they could convert hostile energy into usable power. Every attack from the Krillian fleet was making the Earthbreaker stronger. "Computer, target the lead vessel. Initiate mining protocol on their hull." The Earthbreaker's main drilling arm extended toward the Krillian flagship. At this distance, it seemed like a futile gesture, but the quantum-enhanced boring system had capabilities that no one had anticipated. A focused beam of quantum energy struck the Krillian flagship's hull, and the same molecular dissolution that they used on asteroids began eating through the warship's armor. But this wasn't random destruction. It was precise, surgical targeting. Critical systems while leaving life support intact. "Hull breach on decks 12 through 15, the Krillian tactical officer reported in panic. "Sir, whatever they're using is going straight through our armor like it isn't there, Admiral." Vexstar watched in horror as his flagship's weapon systems were systematically dismantled by the human mining beam. The quantum drilling technology was stripping away components at the molecular level, sorting useful materials from waste, just as it did with asteroids. "Return fire, all ships." But the other Krillian vessels were experiencing the same treatment. The Earthbreaker's multiple drilling arms were targeting different ships simultaneously, using the quantum crystal power cores to maintain multiple operations at once. On the mining station, Captain Torres watched the impossible battle with amazement. "Sarah, what the hell have you done to that ship?" 20 years of innovation, Captain." We've been so focused on extracting resources efficiently that we accidentally invented the most advanced weapons system in the galaxy. The Krillian fleet was in chaos. Their weapons were useless against the Earthbreakers' quantum defenses, while their hulls were being systematically dismantled by mining equipment that had been transformed into precision weapons. Admiral Vextar made a desperate decision. All ships ramming speed. If we can't destroy it, we'll crush it. The remaining Krillian vessels accelerated toward the Earthbreaker, but Sarah was ready for this tactic too. She activated the gravity compression systems at full power, creating a localized gravitational anomaly that caught the attacking ships like insects in amber. Computer, asteroid processing mode. Treat hostile vessels as mining targets. What happened next would be recorded in military history as the most one-sided space battle ever fought. The Earthbreaker systems, designed to break down asteroids into useful components, began systematically deconstructing the Krillian fleet. Weapons were separated from hulls, engines from life support, everything sorted and processed with mechanical efficiency. Within an hour, the proud Krillian fleet had been reduced to neatly organized piles of salvaged materials, all stored in the Earthbreaker's expanded cargo holds. The crews were safely contained in emergency life pods, their ships completely recycled. Commander Zexai broke radio silence for the first time. Human vessel, Earthbreaker, this is Commander Zexai of the Vorthok Reconnaissance Fleet. We have been observing your mining operations. We would like to discuss a research partnership. Sarah Chen laughed, the tension of the battle finally releasing. Commander, I think we have a lot to talk about. But first, I need to finish extracting these quantum crystals. After what just happened, I have a feeling we're going to need them. The aftermath of the battle would reshape galactic civilization. The human technique of bootstrap mining, combined with quantum crystal technology, represented a paradigm shift that made previous military strategies obsolete. Within months, delegations from dozens of civilizations would arrive to study human mining techniques, leading to a new era of cooperation and technological advancement. But for now, Sarah Chen simply returned to her work, extracting quantum crystals from asteroids, while the remnants of a Krillian fleet floated nearby as a reminder that sometimes the most powerful weapons are the ones nobody expects.